Hey guys, welcome back to Self Chats, where we empower one another to take control of our thoughts that don't serve the highest version of ourselves. I'm really excited about this episode. As you can see, I'm already stuttering with my words because one of my closest friends is on here to discuss and have a conversation of what it's like growing up Jamaican. And in this series, we are exploring different cultures and kind of getting their perspective on what it was like moving over to the US and just unlearning and adapting to different cultures. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my friend Nas Rowe.
Hi, everybody.
And Nas is a financial guru. She is an expert in finance. She loves love. She is a great friend. She's dependable. She has a dog named Bozeman. And yeah, she's just a really good spirit to have around. And I can't wait to share with you guys what she has to share with us today. So Nas, how you feel? How you feel?
A little nervous, but I'm here. I'm ready. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's dive in. So tell us a little bit more about Nas. Like, who is Nas?
Okay. So Nas, I was born and raised in Jamaica. I came here when I was 16 or 17, back in 2004 or 5, I believe. Honestly, my drive just comes from seeing what I didn't want to be. In Jamaica, I had plenty examples of what not to be, and instead of adapting to that, I chose a different path. And Nas is just, loving, happy, kind, assertive, ambitious, go-getter, God-fearing. I think I'm extremely athletic in my head.
What kind of sports you play?
I did track and field for I think a decade. Yeah. I like traveling, and just anything that'll help me like progress and grow. I love personal development stuff. I'm always like drilling to my friends, just, want to get to our higher selves. So this is who Nas is. That really encompasses everything that I am.
And you said that you love to travel. So what embarked or what made you have a love for travel for so long?
I think a part of it was just being in Jamaica. On the TV, you would see like a lot of different destinations. And because we're such a small island, it's one's dream to just travel. Then I had a lot of family that would go to the US. They migrated, but they would come back and forth. So I've always wanted to do that. We would visit smaller islands when I was younger for just different philanthropic work. My mom was a part of, adopted mom, was a part of Kiwanis Club, and I don't know, I just decided I wanted to, again, be what I didn't see in Jamaica, which was I didn't hear about people traveling and going far and wide and exploring the world. So that was on my to-do list once I was able to afford it and just do it safely. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would you say, what does it mean to be Jamaican to you?
What does it mean to be Jamaican?
Yeah, because you see a lot of like perspectives like on TV and stuff like that. Does it like align with?
It just depends, I think. I think it means different things for everybody.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I think of Jamaican, I think just natural, like wood, land, water, the ocean, just eating healthy. I think of lots of animals around, like goats, chickens, cows. I think of just the community, like everyone was family, everyone was always helping everybody, even if they were beefing, like they would still be there for a helping hand. I think of community. I think of just all the things literally the Lord has to offer. If you think of an island, if you think of like wealth, it's there. So also good food. Yes. Great food.
I agree.
Good vibes, good music. Just all of those things, to me, at least, I think that's what it means to be Jamaican.
Yeah. What about countryman?
One thing I'll say about Jamaican men is that they will cook for you, they'll provide for you, they'll love you, but they'll also love many others.
Okay.
So, with that being said, no further comments.
Okay. can you share with us one of your favorite memories growing up in Jamaica?
Yes. So I have two favorite memories growing up. The first one was just really every Thursday we would go to the Kiwanis Club meeting in St. Mary, which is, if you think of like Georgia, would be the next state over, but
Okay.
just much on a much smaller scale.
Okay.
We would go every Thursday. I would see my adopted mom in just very high spirits. She really enjoyed giving back. I believe she was either the treasurer, moved her way up to the president. But if you look up Kiwani's Club, you'll see like what they do. And I just really enjoyed doing that every Thursday because one, the entire family went. So me and my brothers, my mom, and our grandma at the time, everybody was in good spirits. Would also like maybe stay at a hotel overnight. So it was just like a different vibe. It just felt like we had it going on. Like that's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
A second favorite memory is when I lived with my grandparents for the last half of my life in Jamaica. He had like every single fruit tree and vegetable you could think of, every animal like goats, chicken, goose, dogs, cats. Like we just had it all. And we had an ackee tree in our house. The ackee is Jamaica's national fruit, by the way, and ackee and saltfish is a national dish. So that ackee tree, I would just climb it and just go all the way to the top. It was very cool up there, and I could just find a branch to lay on and sleep and daydream. And my grandmother would always tell me, you're a young lady, you shouldn't be climbing. But to me, I was like, first of all, you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it twice and I'm gonna do it better. So I would just climb up higher and higher. I've never fallen out of that tree. I've never had any injuries. I would just climb as high as I could go, find a branch that could support me, and I would stay on that branch so much it started to smooth out from just me being up there. And then of course my other siblings and cousins started following me, so just us always hanging out. So yeah, climbing the ackee tree was my and sleeping in it was one of my favorite memories.
As you were explaining that story, I could see how that tree correlates with your life now. Like you kept climbing up that tree, that ladder in work, in your self-development, in your spiritual life, and your friends. So I see that tree even though it's just part of your childhood, I feel like you brought that part of your tree with you to your
very
adult
insightful.
life, right?
Yes, I agree with that. Super insightful. Yeah.
And then the thing where you said it made like a little imprint for you. This is made for you.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss that tree. I hope it's still standing.
And then with you talking about your mom being in finance, do you think that you have a love or a passion for finance because of your adoptive mom or your mom?
I don't think so. I like to work hard. No, switch that. I like to work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Just growing up, books, reading, numbers, they came naturally to me. I was always progressing in school, skipping grades, top 1 and top 2. And what came naturally and easy to me was like accounting and finance and English and writing.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if this is what comes naturally, I'm going to embrace that, because I did try to do computer science and programming, and it was just a lot. I remember I had to build a banking app that showed, I think it was kind of like an ATM type app. My app would not work. I failed that class, and I said, I'm going to focus on what I'm good at. And I was able to graduate in 3 years with a finance and accounting degree after I decided to focus on what my strengths were. So I just kind of fell into it, to be honest. So
cool.
Yeah.
What's like the best part, or what do you like most about finance?
Oh, finance is very boring. There's nothing to like about it.
Well, what do you like? What makes you keep going?
Well, okay. So what makes me keep going is, it is very boring. It's very monotonous. But one thing is, for my personal finance, I love to look at where I'm at and what it's going to look like in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months out. If I make a big decision now, if I make this purchase, how does that affect me, in the future? So that's kind of like forecasting. I might be quite obsessed with that, because I do that damn near daily, sometimes weekly. If I'm too busy, it's not daily, but if it's
Yeah.
weekly at least,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll look at my finances. I have a trip coming up. I'll plug in the estimated expenses for the trip and I'll say, okay, this will put me back XYZ dollars. So
Yeah.
for me, finance helps me to just be on top of things and
Mm.
never put myself in a position of want or need ever again, like I saw growing up. And
Yeah.
like after I graduated from college in 2008, like I saw, because the economy was bad,
Right.
it just gives me that sense of safety. For work, I work in the cosmetics industry, and I specifically chose an industry that was going to be creative and just evolving and fun.
Yeah.
Because again, finance is monotonous, it's mundane, it's repetitive, it gets boring.
Yeah.
So just being able to be a part of a industry that you can see your output. I say, hey Nas, I forecasted the expense for this, and I can go into a Target, a Walmart, a Sephora, and I can see our products on shelves. I can see us on a YouTube or TikTok channel, and that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, were there any like particular challenges that you faced when you first came to the U.S. and what age were you?
I think I was 16 or 17. 2000, one of those ages. I know I had just finished, probably 16. I had just finished high school in Jamaica. I went to Immaculate Conception High, big up, the best high school in Jamaica, all girls Catholic high school. Yes, I was Catholic for like 6 years because you have no choice. You do have a choice, but you still have to go to mass and stuff.
Yeah.
But let's see, challenges. Honestly, it was probably the weather.
Oh yeah, tell us more about that.
The weather. I had never experienced snow, and the coldest temperature I had personally experienced was when I would go visit my family in the country, and we would be on a mountain. It's cooler up top, and it will be cooler a little bit more in December. But just I had never experienced snow, so it looked pretty when it was falling, but when it started sticking and like it would go on my Pontiac Sunfire that I bought, I would literally be risking my life trying to drive that thing because I didn't know how to fully clear off the snow. I was slipping and falling and sliding. It was just horrible. So I personally did not like the snow. And then the second thing was really, I went to a school where a lot of other Jamaicans had came. They got like scholarships as well.
Yeah.
And I was actually, I felt like, not felt, I was definitely bullied by my other Jamaican peers because either they thought I spoke too nicely, they thought I was trying to befriend like other Americans as opposed to befriending and sticking to our Jamaican circle.
Yeah.
And that really did mess with me a lot. And I chose to like literally separate myself from them even further because of that. But eventually I graduated and I got the heck up out of Dodge. Came to Atlanta like slippity slip. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting because a lot of them now, like they reach out to me and they, oh, how are you doing? You know, looks like life is great, blah, 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 blah. And for a very long time, I wouldn't like communicate, but you know, personal development, I've done work. So I'm cordial now.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I ain't never gonna forget.
Right. No, I'm just playing. Like, how did you overcome that? Because I know I experienced the same thing in high school, and it kind of messes with your mind. So, like, I know that you said you just got the heck out of there, but how did you overcome that while you were living in it?
Honestly, it's dark. I did not fare very well at all.
Yeah.
I struggled mentally. At times I didn't even want to be alive anymore. I got into fights. I remember, actually, it was one night I got into like 3 fights. Something just clicked in my head. I knocked on each door of all the people I knew that was bullying me, and I just whooped ass. Then I got kicked out of school. But because I had so much, I know, right? Because I had so much records and like complaints to the bursar and everybody that this was happening, and they had like email proof, because back then the bullying was done via email and like chats.
Okay.
So because they had that proof, and I was also a top student, they allowed me to attend classes and graduate and walk actually, but I was not allowed to live on campus. But it was also my last semester, and I was just like, I don't even care. So I lived off campus for my last semester, went to school, graduated, didn't really eat in the dorms anymore. I was a part of the Black Student Association, didn't participate in that anymore. But honestly, oh great. It just, a lot of I don't know. I just felt great. And interestingly enough, a lot of my Jamaican peers
Mm-hmm.
seem to respect me because of that. And I guess that's how you do it. You got to scrap it out sometimes.
And
I
take
was
the
younger.
hammer.
I was younger, y'all. I would never. I'm a pacifist now. I'm a pacifist now.
Well, I'm glad that it was kind of like you took a higher route, but you like, it's kind of like you stayed Ray Charles to the BS, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely can understand what you went through.
Yeah.
But I don't think would have the courage to be knocking on nobody's door.
I don't know. I was blacked out. I don't
You
even.
probably saw black and just.
Yeah. It was bad. And then the same people that were hyping me up during the fights were the same ones who snitched on me.
Oh my gosh.
But they were threatened with getting their scholarships taken away. So I understand. No beef with none of y'all. I understand.
Oh man. Well, how do you think your upbringing in Jamaica has like shaped your perspective on life?
Growing up, I had like two different pieces growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my adopted mom,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved with my biological grandparents, and my biological mom was around too during that time.
Yeah.
Growing up with my adopted mom, I saw just a hardworking woman.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody that tried her best. Like there were times when I got my ass whooped more than severely than others, and I was definitely called dark skin slurs.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I look back, I can see that maybe she was depressed and had a lot going on. And same thing with my bio mom. Like once I got with her too, it was, I don't know. I just chalk it up to these women being depressed and having to do a lot on their own. But
yeah,
one of the things I've learned is that I will never do anything like that to my child because it stays with you, especially the scars. The fact that I can look at my body and pinpoint and tell you a story about something. But just growing up with her, I saw a go-getter. I saw like a different part of life. Like we weren't really in need for anything.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot more of Jamaica. And then growing up, moving to my grandparents, we were tighter on stuff. We lived off the land a lot more. My grandfather would scrape up like pennies for bus fare. And again, because I was a top student, I ended up getting lunch from school and just like little scholarships here and there to keep me personally at school afloat.
Yeah.
So like those two things are where my drive came from. I knew that it was possible to have a better life and to be better. So I just took advantage of what I saw and what I didn't like and used that as my driving force and took the things that I did like and kind of build up on that. And that's the Nas you got today.
Yeah, I love that, Nas.
Me too.
What's your relationship like with your family back at home?
So again, two sets of family. I have my bio mom, then I have my adopted mom. Adopted mom is in the States. This is who I migrated for and with.
Oh, okay.
My bio mom is in Jamaica, and I talk to her, but it's for a very long time I felt I just felt like she didn't love me, so I didn't owe her anything. But then I also felt like, I see my grandfather always helping other people, always helping his children when they were mean to him. Mm-hmm. So because I was able to like progress in life, then I started to feel this immense guilt. Like I just had to support and give back. And I would overextend myself trying to give back. In therapy, I would ask my therapist, like, why do I feel like this? And she'd be like, why do you feel like that? Like, why do you think you owe them something? And I'm like, I don't know, girl, I'm asking you. So for a very long time, I was very resentful towards her.
Yeah.
And just some of the mean stuff she said, when I was there and just did. And the guilt trips of me, like, basically owing her. Mm-hmm. Very resentful. And then of course I would help out a lot, and I found out a lot of the help that I was giving wasn't going towards what it needed to go to. Yeah. So plenty times they'd be homeless even though I was paying rent. So I'm like, how? Right. So now I'm in a much better space because of a lot of the personal development work that I've done. Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about her personally, that's something to explore. I've avoided that topic in therapy lately because I'm just like, I don't think there's anything to change there.
Yeah.
My Jamaican parents, they're not changing, so I have to change myself and
Right.
how I feel. So I feel, I don't know, I just feel like if you desperately need me, I'm here. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. My bio mom, my adopted mom, um, no real animosity there, but
Mm-hmm.
I also still remember. But she has shown up for me just countless times when I graduated with my master's. Even though she wasn't well, she traveled to watch me walk, got me
Mm.
like a cute little pillow with like my school's emblem on it. Just a different way she showed up for me. It helps to balance out some of the harsher things that were done and said. So
Yeah.
it feels like there's a balancing on that scale.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't say the same for my bio mom, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
And I feel like with the whole helping our family when we make it, I feel like with every, I guess, first generation or just different culture other than, American, um, I feel like that's like a guilt or like a thing that we feel like we need to do.
Yeah.
Because I help my family as much as I can, but it's hard because when the world is inflation
Mm-hmm.
and everything, like you got to worry about yourself and you got to think about yourself and your happiness first, because if you're not happy or you're not okay, you're not going to be a service to other people.
Yeah.
And I think my dad, he, even though like I do help him, he understands.
Yeah.
And um yeah, that's just something really hard, but
Yeah.
I think we all want to just help our family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do. I don't want them to suffer, but I
Yeah.
also want to enjoy my life. And
Yes.
it's bad, but I hide a lot of my social media from them. And it's just recent that they're able to follow me on social media and just kind of see me living,
Mm-hmm.
because I would also get those guilt trips like, oh, must be nice. You got
Right.
a house with a pool. Oh, must be nice. You got a fancy dog, Oh, must be nice. You went to the wherever I would travel to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna need XYZ money on this day, so just remember. And it's just like, I'm gonna send it, but don't be telling me to make sure that I put aside money out of my living to help you on this day, like I owe you.
Yeah, because
So
it's like it's not really a choice, but as a parent, I feel
yeah,
like you're supposed to provide for your
yeah,
kids. But yeah, I totally get it.
yeah. And this is my bio mom, my adopted mom. Like, she has rarely ever asked me and told me I owe her for anything. The
Mm-hmm.
only time she has ever asked is when she absolutely needs it, and it's been a very rare occasion. Those times I am more than happy to help, and I
Yeah.
like to go above and beyond, because it just makes me feel like, okay, you're not making yourself entitled.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like entitlement in
Yeah.
anyone.
I know.
So yeah.
Do you think that your Jamaican identity plays a role in how you show up in the world every day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember I think I just have a unique perspective being in
Mm-hmm.
America, because I've seen a different piece to life. I've seen the slow living, the farmland living,
Yeah.
the hanging with your family in a house with multiple siblings, cousins, aunts, just people who my grandfather has taken in. I've just seen the camaraderie of it all and the selflessness of it all. And I don't necessarily experience a lot of selflessness in the US.
Yeah.
People are very me centric.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it definitely shapes the way I show up, because I've adapted and held on to that piece of me.
Yeah.
And whenever I try to be selfish and step out, it's painful. So I'm just like, girl, stay authentic.
Yeah.
Stay authentic. So yeah. That's how it shapes me. Authenticity.
Yes. Do you show up authentically at work? Or do you have to, what do they call it? Code switch?
I code switch for sure. Um,
Me too.
I don't like to I don't really drink a lot anyways, but even with like my coworkers, I don't drink a lot when we get together.
Oh, yeah.
I try not to stay out too late either. I'd rather just go to bed and be refreshed for the next day.
Yeah.
I even like just some of the little like slangs that I've picked up, Gen Zers, all the says. I don't even like use that at work. I just try to
Really?
stay, yeah, like I just try to stay like this, just very monotone. But I
Uh-huh.
also get very nervous when I'm presenting, anyways,
Yeah.
because I don't know, being like the only black face I see on the leadership team is just, I still wonder, like, are you sure you're supposed to be here, girl? Little self doubt, little imposter syndrome, but definitely I code switch. They can't handle real Nas.
Yeah, I mean, they think they can,
Yeah.
but I feel like you could just dab a little sprinkle every now and then.
Period.
I said that one time during a meeting. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I'm gonna definitely try to just drop it in here and there, but I know I've said stuff sometimes and I just get crickets and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot who I'm talking to.
Yeah, because they've been using their corporate lingo like circle back or
Yeah, let's bite the elephant one piece at a time,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
We've got some go gets and I believe we can do it as a team and as a company. All right. I'm like, okay, yep.
Yeah. So, okay, when you have your own family one day, what would you want to keep with you? Like, what tradition would you want to bring into your legacy and your children?
Oh, no back talking.
Oh, that's hard. So how?
No back talking. I'm gonna just give them a look because I got a dog I'm practicing right now, and all I gotta do
Okay.
is just shoot him a look,
Uh-huh.
and he just like backs up, and then he's just like, "Oh snap!" Like what I do. So none of that back talking, none of that craziness in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to remind them to be kind and
Mm-hmm.
selfless and to stay authentic, but also don't people please because I've also had to learn the hard way because
Yeah.
I've just always felt like I wanted love and wanted to belong and wanted deeper connections. I just surface level grinds my gears. And I want to build a family and raise children that are loving, but also have boundaries, don't people please, that they'll show up authentically as themselves. They'll think of, just like companionship and love.
Yeah.
Just think outside of themselves.
Right.
I want to leave some good, healthy humans in the world. And I hope that they'll make a change when I'm gone and for the future to come. So yeah, those are some of the things I'll adapt. And, it's kudos to my grandfather and my grandmother, may she rest in peace, for that aspect because it's them and my adopted mom too, because she adopted
Yeah.
me. She adopted like my other adopted brother. She raised like a couple of her nieces and nephews. So she was also always giving back. So like them two together, just always being kind and just being selfless. That's what I would want to instill.
I love that. And I do see that those are the qualities that you have. And I know that you probably get them from your grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, Nas is one of my friends where like I I'm a very affectionate person, and she is like the only friend that will like let me like hold on to her arm or like cuddle with her, and like I feel comfortable doing that, and I think it's just because she reminds me a little bit of like my family and stuff.
Aww.
So yeah, so some people think other things or otherwise, and it's fine because we know who we are. Okay.
Yeah.
But as we come to a close, one thing I wanted to ask you is if you, with everything that you've accomplished, everything that you've been through in your journey, what is something that you would give, like a piece of advice, if you could give your younger self, what would it be?
um Keep the happy memories
Mm-hmm.
close and vivid because I've had to do a lot of work to unshield the happiness because I just thought there was just so much abuse, so much hardship. I
Yeah.
thought that was my identity and that's just what I had to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly and truly, there were a lot of beautiful moments folded into that. And I want to keep those like abreast. Just remember that it'll help you growing up as an adult. Your trauma is not who you are. you are not your trauma. Like, I swear to you, what you experience is not who you are. So that's what I would keep. Let me see. Oh, and then I got a pin the other day at a bachelorette party, and it said she thought she did, so she could, or she did it. It's like she thought she could, so she did. And that is just who I am. If I think,
For sure.
yeah, if I think something, it's getting done.
Yeah.
If it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, just remember, if Nas thinks she can, she will.
Period.
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 All right. What would you say? What's one thing you could say that you're proud of yourself?
I'm proud of the vulnerability that I've allowed myself to show. I'm proud of the personal development that I've embarked on, and the accountability that I've held myself to, regardless of others acknowledging that. I'm proud of just the mindset of trying to turn every negative with a positive spin, still feel my feelings, still process, still break down, but bounce back real quick. I'm proud of all of that. And it shows just in how I feel lighter and calmer. It shows in like my hope for my future husband, my kids. It shows for my hope for my, like, financial future. Just, all of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of who you're becoming, or who you've become.
Yeah,
I can see your growth, and we've been friends for over a decade.
Yeah,
and we started
in the gutter.
We met at the bus stop. And we started, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now we're here, and I'm really grateful that you were able to come on the podcast and share your story. Did I say podcast? Yeah, I did. Sorry, y'all.
What is this, a vlog? What is this?
It's a podcast.
Podcast, okay.
But thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah.
And
and thank you for having me. I'm super proud of you, and I can't wait to see the final edit.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to Self Chats, and just listening and learning about Jamaica and Nas, the boss that she is. And so until next time, we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.